Are you tired of hearing, "We just need to hit the API endpoint," and nodding politely without really understanding what that means for your product's features, dependencies, or data quality? Do you want to move beyond the annoying analogies and finally understand the actual mechanics in a simple way? Let's start with what it stands for. API is the Application Programming Interface. The API is the interface, not the data. Interface. This is the crucial part. An interface is a point where two separate systems meet and interact. Let's look at APIs compared to the user interface, UI. The user interface is the screen, the buttons, and the forms you interact with. The API is the forms and buttons your software applications interact with. An API is a contract for communication. It defines exactly how an external system can talk to the internal system without needing to know the complex inner workings of the internal system. Why do you need an API? APIs are the primary mechanism for getting and receiving data from different sources. This is essential for building complex, feature-rich products. The communication follows a simple loop. Your application, the client, sends a request to the external system, the server. This request is a simple command like "get the current flight status" or "post this new user account data." The external server processes the request, looks up the flight, or saves the account data. The server sends back a response, which includes the requested data, the flight status, and a status code, like the famous 200 OK, meaning success, or 404 not found, meaning failure. How does your request know where to go? It uses an endpoint. The endpoint is simply the specific URL where the API is located and ready to receive requests. That's it. It's just a techie way of saying it's the web address your programs go to when they need to swap information. Protocols and authentication. For two systems to talk successfully, they must agree on the format, language, and security of the communication. This is governed by two key components. Most modern APIs use the HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is the same protocol your web browser uses to talk to a website. It defines the structure of the request and response. Requests are essentially the actions we want the API to take, and for those actions, APIs rely on things called HTTP verbs. That's how they tell the server what to do. The most common verbs you'll hear about are get, to fetch data, post, to create new data, put, to update existing data, and delete, to, delete data. Since APIs expose valuable data and functionality, they need security. The most common security method is the API key. The API key is a unique, secret string of characters that acts like a digital ID or a password. Your application must include this key with every request. The external system checks the key to confirm you are who you say you are, and you have permission to access that specific data or functionality. The API docs are the official rulebook and reference manual. They tell you what data is available, how the data must be formatted in a request, the rate limits and service level agreements, SLAs, which affect the performance, risk, and deployment strategy of your product, the benefits of API-driven development. You can integrate existing services like a mapping tool instead of building them, massively reducing time to market and complexity in your sprint backlog. Your product is no longer a single monolith. You can easily swap out components, e.g. change from one payment provider API to another, without rewriting your entire application. This directly impacts risk management. You can rely on external experts to handle their specialized domain, payments, weather, etc., allowing your team to focus solely on your core product value. This helps the PO maximize value. The API is the ultimate secret weapon for building a modern, flexible, and feature-rich product. It turns external services into simple, reusable features for your application. API-driven development is the key to continuous delivery of valuable, reliable product increments. Now you're ready to talk about APIs with confidence. To dive deeper and learn how to implement REST principles or manage data formats like XML and JSON, hit that like button and subscribe now. Thanks for watching.